Bronco behind me put the Jeep Wrangler 6 feet under. Seriously, this is one of the biggest reasons as to why Jeep Wrangler sales continue to struggle at the same time that the Ford Bronco is increasing in volume. I'll include a link to the Ford and Draper's website in the description down below. If you have any questions, just ask for Scott. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this is a turbo 2.3 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 10-speed. Power outputs are 300 horsepower, 325 pound-feet of torque, with fuel economy being 17 around town and then 19 on the highway. This engine's also more reliable than the Wrangler powertrains. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help me out with that. Now I've got the mirror caps attached to the body, so you can still have mirrors if you take the doors off. The Wrangler doesn't have that. A part of my language here, this is called eruption green, but I've had several Ford salespeople refer to it as erection green because they think it's the best looking color on the Bronco. Anywho, circular headlights, you've got the white Bronco logo. Notice the grille's not painted or anything like that, but who cares, because you do get an upgraded bumper down below with fog lights and recovery points. Altogether, I will say, pretty cool looking. I don't know if I'd use the same language as the Ford salespeople, but it's good looking. Tire wheel setup is 315 by 70 by 17. I love this new wheel design. I think it looks really sharp on the Bronco. Now we do have the Bilstein position sensitive shocks as well as independent front suspension. This package also comes with rock rails from the factory. And this one has the hard top. I've had a chance to see a bunch of the Broncos with the painted top, and I actually prefer the unpainted top now because it ties in better with the fender flares that are also unpainted. When it comes to key fob features, we've got our lock and unlock function, remote start, and then the Bronco logo on the back. Speaking of the back, we do have hydraulic assist on the tailgate. Lighting here in the rear, we also have a 12 volt there on the other side, and space in the 4-door is fantastic, bigger than a Wrangler. One downside of this package is you do get the baseline taillights, but who cares because you get an upgraded rear bumper as well as a recovery point and a full-size spare 35. That will cap things off for the exterior of this Bronco. Let's now pop inside. Soft touch there on the door panel, and then you got a little bit of storage netting down below. This one gets the upgraded seats. This is one thing that's a benefit of this over the Heritage Edition because the Heritage has cloth for the seats. Good legroom in the back for the most part. We've got window controls in the center, and the 25 Broncos have vents in the rear. Headroom is good with that boxy design too. Let's now pop up front. Blind spot monitoring with the mirrors, and again you've got more soft touch in the armrest area. 1,005 pounds of payload capacity. Bronco horse there, and then the front seat is manual with the adjustments and vinyl like the back seats. Let's start her up. Hear that 4-cylinder roar. Soft touch trim around the steering wheel with the Bronco logo front and center. Practical controls for the center on the right hand side, voice command controls too. On the left side we've got our cruise control with our volume controls. Full digital gauge cluster. This is another big upgrade for the 25 Broncos. You get this in all of the Broncos. Tons of driving modes. I like how you've got several different off-road modes, including a rock crawl, because Ford does expect you to actually have fun with this. And to prove that point, they give you diff locks front and rear and trail turn assist. No stabilizer bar disconnect. You got to go to a Badlands. Just a backup camera in reverse, but it does have good resolution. Now as for the rest of the infotainment system, shortcut bar here at the bottom, and then you've got that little auxiliary tab which you can change what information that displays. Analog controls for the radio, dual zone climate, heated seats. No heated steering wheel with this model though. Little charging port area, and then I like how the Ford logo looks like the Bronco front face. You do have a manual shift function here with the 10 speeds that the buttons are for on the side of the shifter. Now this is a part-time four-wheel drive system, but it does have auto, so kind of functions like a full-time four-wheel drive if you want it to. You also have your off-road cruise control there in the center. Window controls in the center with the mirror adjustments, again convertible, that's what it's like. Plenty of center console space, the 12 volts inside. Nice trim here on the top with more nice stitching. Count them, 6 auxiliary switches, and then we do have the nice top insulation. Again, this is easy to take off with the latches. The back, you got to use tools. You guys can't see anything. 2025 Big Bend, 56,370. You'll just have to trust me. Man, that is a beauty. Let's see how she performs. Let us set off in the Bronco. Big Bend with the Sasquatch package. RIP Jeep. RIP Jeep. It's funny when I say stuff like this and people are like, Ben, you own a Wrangler, and it's like, yeah. You know, I don't always make the best decision. I'm just kidding, I love my Wrangler. But I gotta admit, Ford's offering a much better value than Jeep is, and I just don't understand why Jeep doesn't change the Wrangler lineup to make it so it's more competitive with the Bronco from a package perspective. Because again, this is mid-50s. You look at Jeep mid-50s and you're getting 33s. You're not getting 35s. You're not getting a front diff lock either. Oh man. So this person's parked like a imbecile. This person's doing whatever, they're fine. But this truck's been here the whole time I've been filming here for over an hour. Why would you do that? Like, that's so, I'm thinking it's inconsiderate. I think that person should get like a huge fine, like $2,000, just because of how inconsiderate. I know that seems ridiculous, but like, come on. It takes 2 seconds to be able to like pull in. Like, I'm horrible at parking, and even I can make it into a parking space. Now, I will say the torque, it's good. I mean, you get a 4.7 axle ratio with the Sasquatch, so that helps out quite a bit in terms of the low end feel. Now, this does only have 300 horsepower, so you're not gonna have a strong top end. If you want a stronger top end, you get the V6, but obviously that's more money, so you gotta pick and choose with that. Smooth. I like the sounds it makes. It's got pretty good power, and it feels like it's got good low end torque. This is comfortable. Now, one downside about the Sasquatch, you don't have as much down travel because of the lift. So when you go over bigger bumps, you do kind of just feel it more. I'll show that in a moment, but it's not horrible. It's definitely manageable. This is pretty comfortable. This is pretty comfortable. Do get quite a bit of tire noise, so that is one little downside with Broncos, with 35s. Okay, so doing this. Ooh. So that's where it kind of feels like you can feel that there's not as much travel in the suspension, so it kind of hits you a little bit harder. It's not horrible. But I talked about this in my other Bronco video, so let's quickly mention in this. Independent front suspension, solid rear axle. So when you go over a bump in the front end, it just kind of, suspension just kind of compresses upwards. The rear axle kind of tips side to side. So you have this weird motion. And this is any vehicle that has this setup, by the way. Independent front, solid rear. But anyways, you kind of have this weird motion where you go like up and then side to side, and it can be a little bit jarring. It's something to definitely get used to. You know, if you just have independent all around, it's just up, and then you have solid axles all around, it's like woo. But you get used to it either way. You get used to it. You get used to either tipping or bumping up. This drives phenomenally. And I mentioned this in another video because I reviewed a base model Badlands Sasquatch, and I said TFL should have bought that. But if TFL didn't want to spend that much money, they should have bought this. I mean, again, you get discounts on all the Broncos nowadays. So like, this has all the same stuff as their Everglades minus the winch, and actually has better bumpers, because the Everglades, if I remember right, had a plastic rear bumper, if I remember right. And this has the vents in the back. It's got the new digital gauge cluster. Like, this is just a nicer car. I love TFL, but man, why you guys gotta go and buy an Everglades when you could have bought something better? Because it has a winch. You can add a winch to any of the Broncos. So let me know your thoughts on the Big Bend Sasquatch. But if you're looking for just, it's not dirt cheap, but if you're looking for more affordable off-road capability, like extreme, like this is very, very capable. This has a ton of clearance. It's got diff locks front and rear. This can go many places. Then this is kind of the way to go. Again, the reason I love the Heritage Edition. I think it looks cool, but you have to understand you're paying for the fancy paint job and the Heritage looks, because this is the same price as the Heritage Edition, same capability, but then you get the vinyl seats, so you kind of get a nicer interior when it comes to cleanup. Those Heritage seats, I would not, those cloth Heritage seats, ooh, get those dirty, good luck to you. Let me know your thoughts.